Hello, this is Purple Pentagram, aka Prophet Beach, and I'm here in Project Cars to drive around the Nurburgring. And this isn't, it's normally difficult to drive around the Nurburgring, but today it's going to be especially difficult because I'm choosing modern Formula 1, aka Formula A in the game, to drive around the Nurburgring in, with my opponents at 100 difficulty. I just have to pick a sunny time because Formula 1 cars don't have headlights. 2 p.m. Alright. Location, Eiffel Wall, vehicle, Formula A. Player last. Alright. I'm pretty rusty on my Formula 1 Nurburgring line. In fact, I really don't have one. So, it might be ugly, it might be slow, but here we go. Right away we have a AI crash. He's backing up into me. Back up out of his way. Alright, let's go. Because this game is an alpha, as such the AI in the line isn't completely finished from a software standpoint. I have disabled damage. Alright, so the audio from here on out in the video is essentially useless. So I decided to do a little introduction here because I had some pretty interesting things to say in the video, but obviously you can't hear any of what I'm saying because of the loudness of the engine. So basically what I tried to say while I was driving was that this is a really good representation of the Formula 1 regulations and cars from about 2005 to 2012, because the engines are very low torque, they have very high power, about 700 horsepower. So they like to accelerate at high speed. They don't like going slow. The cars have a ton of downforce. As you can see in the video, I'm able to take many corners at around 180 miles an hour, which is pretty hilarious, to be honest. And yeah, so it's just a really joyous experience to be able to share the fact that you can drive Formula 1 in this game on the Nürburgring, and it's just really rewarding to have such a challenge available in a video game, which really wasn't possible until recently. Technology just really wasn't there. So this game really excites me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks. Purple Pentagram out. Weighs probably, you know how much a Formula 1 car weighs, about 600 kilos, right? So power to weight ratio is through the roof for open wheel carbon fiber cars, and that's what really makes it special that you can drive Formula A around the Nürburgring, because it's just too dangerous in real life. Really, when you going on your testing laps, you know, trying to push the limit of your car, this durability, which is to say not no durability at all. You really, Formula 1 cars are too delicate for this circuit. They became too delicate a long time ago, about the 70s, which is exactly there's so much. Oh, there's my crash. There we go. Nice deadly crash for you. I'll do a replay to see where I made that mistake. So here we go. Coming through these corners. Where did I make this mistake? So embarrassing. See, from outside of the car, is just so humiliating to watch, but from inside, it's very, very difficult to deal with something like that. Which is another great, that crash is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, on the Nurburgring, since it's so large and so undulating, especially in faster cars of today. Formula 1 cars only have 300 horsepower, 100 horsepower, so they weren't going all that fast when they were coming through here. It's about as fast as a modern aerial atom or BAC mono. Like that was Formula 1 back in the day, except with less safety. Because you could crash into a wall in the BAC mono and survive. So in an old Formula 1 car. A great background is to watch the movie From. It was made in 1966, and what it's about is how deadly. That's the theme. Death. Like it shows the fear and the reality of racing back then, which was there were no rules. So if you crashed once, you were dead, and that was your own fault. Which is especially magnified on this racetrack because the emergency services don't have fast race cars. They have vans, and vans take about 30 minutes to go to around the Nurburgring. So back in the day, if you had a crash on this track, either you would get up, you would successfully extract yourself from your car, someone else would stop and help you, or you would die, because the official emergency services would not allow you to literally barbecue the line when your sponsor's gasoline. So older Formula 1 back in the post-World War II was very much drenched in death, symbolism of death, and expectation every time you step in a race car. Especially, this is another big point. See, I braked too early. There were another, I don't know, 5-10 meters that I could have used in that braking zone to go faster. And that's just another example of how in a qualifying situation you're always pushing for that perfect time. You really do these days with that free racing you have to perfect. So attempting perfection on a track that's this large is just not fun. So, and it just makes the car stick to the front. It really does. Like, um, I'm an American, so I have a disadvantage here, but I've been watching Formula One for a few years now, almost 4 years, and I really try to pay attention to how cars react to braking inputs, steering inputs, and just corner undulations, driving approach, and well, anyway, just what's cool about this unlicensed Formula One race. This is an unlicensed Formula One car. There we go, another spin. That was nice. So, because it's unlicensed, they kind of blended what they've done as a community. They've kind of blended the most recent naturally aspirated era of Formula One cars into one car. About 6 or 7 years, the swap time from when there were naturally aspirated V10s, like the end of the Michael Schumacher era, to the Sebastian Vettel era. When Vettel was winning those races, before back-to-back championships. So, yeah, something I've done in this car, in this current season, I'm not sure what the recent matches, but what they've done is they've made a really nice send-off to the naturally aspirated era of Formula One. Oh, I got my braking zone right for this one. So, they've delivered a car that weighs about 600 kilos, which in American is about 1,400 pounds or so. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they've given it about 700 horsepower, but it's not normal horsepower. It's open wheel peaky race horsepower. So basically, the engine doesn't wake up until it's at about 10,000. No, not even 10,000. More like 15,000 RPM. Let me bring up the telemetry to show you. Okay, so there's your RPM display. I'm getting at about 18,000 reps. So yeah, that's in line with the most recent naturally aspirated regulation that they changed for turbo hybrid. And yeah, so this is a really good analog for the V10 and V8 era. It has plenty of downforce. I haven't really dove into tuning this car yet, but it's out of the box. It's pretty much well tuned for the 990. Look, I just want to do it full 5 full speed, no lift. Like at maximum output, it's only making 300 pound-feet of torque. It's not making all that much torque because it's a very small engine. So, it's in line with those specifications I was talking about. The old 3-liter V8s that will they don't make much torque at all. So it really characterized the end of the naturally aspirated era. Watching was the fact that because of the lack of torque in the cars, being in the right gear was very, very always, no matter what you were doing. If you were racing, if you were chasing, maybe your tires or whatever. So, yeah, you always have to be in the right gear, and that ties into how your team has managed your gearbox ECU and gearbox parameters and all those other mechanical, electromechanical, computerized interactions that make up a race car. So yeah, it's just a really nice, accurate representation. Which I'm sure will have plenty of car models to represent this. So I'm really glad so that's, how many laps is that? That's 3 laps of the Nurburgring in terms of the trade-off. So I'm on my 3rd lap. I'm gonna stop the video right here. So actually, so I'll pay attention and try to go a little bit faster. That's the thing about the exhaust cylinder diffuser. That's it. Okay, yeah, I'll talk about the exhaust cylinder. So, the exhaust cylinder diffuser is a device on the rear of a car. I'll demonstrate by following this car. Oh man, it's moving so slow. Okay, so you see that exhaust pump right there? That blue exhaust pump is changing gear. So what that means is that the exhaust exits below, right near the rear wheels. If you can see that blue flame, pretty obvious. Make sure you watch this 1080p to see what I'm talking about. So yeah, this blue flame, that means that, well, number one, there's no turbo because flames don't go through a turbo. Number two, the fact that it has an exhaust on the diffuser, and that's wrong. Another thing that's great about this implementation is that it has a functioning exhaust pump. What that means is that the exhaust comes out under the rear of the car. And this is a Formula 1 car made up of a bunch of services. It's really no big deal to have this happen. It's just expensive because you have to heat shield all the materials around that area, and it just increases the research and development cost so much more because instead of building a car, you're now basically building a spacecraft because now you're building a rocket engine. That's essentially what that is. You're creating thrust using a tube. Yeah. That's what they're doing. They're using hot gas mixed with fuel. Formula 1 cars tend to run, or at least the old naturally aspirated cars, they tend to run rich. They tend to use a lot of fuel, and a lot of this fuel just gets spewed right out the back of the car. It's regular road fuel. It just doesn't get burnt. It explodes in the exhaust. So they're using that fact, and this was banned over the course of the exhaust diffuser here. They used, for a couple seasons, they used ECU tuning to actually change the behavior of the engine independent of what the driver was doing on the that exhaust was creating downforce. So that's what it does. Since you increase, that's the law of lift, plane lift. I don't exactly understand how that works, but that's the basic idea, that you create a low pressure zone or a high pressure zone, and since there's a differential in pressure, that change in pressure causes a sensation, lift, and it's using the opposite of pressurizing the underside, so the overside is has less pressure, and that creates the force. So it just, this car makes downforce at a very low speed, about 70 miles, which is silly. It's been, and that's one of the main targets of is to destroy that method of extracting performance, was to, because they made it a single exit turbo at the center of the car, so that it's physically impossible to extract the same amount of exhaust blown downforce out of the car. So turbo, you really need either a center exit under the car or a two exits. Connecting both sides of me. That's another part. So yeah, I think let's talk a little bit about history, stuff. More for an American audience.